Well, let's cross back to Rochdale now, and joining me is the leader of Reform UK, Richard Tice. Richard, your candidate was the former MP for Rochdale. How do you think you've done this time?
Well, look, what's quite clear, Tom, is that George Galloway has won this by-election, and I'm going to read out a prepared statement that's going to go onto socials as soon as I've finished reading this out to you, Tom. And if you'll just stand by and bear with me, it goes as follows. Now the polls have closed, people across the United Kingdom need to know the truth about this election campaign and the implications for our country and our democracy. To suggest that a parliamentary election in this country has not been a truly free and fair election is a very serious allegation indeed. Unfortunately, the behaviour of certain candidates and their supporters in this contest fall very far short of our traditional democratic standards. What we've witnessed and experienced in Rochdale is deeply disturbing. Our candidate and campaign team has been subjected to racist death threats, racist abuse, refused entry to hustings in council buildings, had to be relocated for their own safety, suffered daily intimidation and slurs. I've already removed all of my staff from this count. In one incident, Reform UK's business supporters were threatened with a firebomb attack if they distributed our leaflets. Menacing behaviour became a feature of this entire campaign, including today outside polling stations. In this ugliest of contexts, we're concerned by the sudden increase also in the size of the postal vote, from 14,000 last time to some 23,000 just a few years later. The results of this Rochdale by-election should act as a serious wake-up call to those in power and indeed the entire electorate. This is the United Kingdom. We're supposed to be a beacon of democracy. This shameful contest has been the sort of thing you might expect to see in a failed state. Unless something dramatic changes, our fear is that it will result and be repeated in dozens of constituencies in the general election. We face the prospect of a number of extremist, anti-Semitic lawmakers in the House of Commons by Christmas. That, Tom, is the end of my pre-prepared statement.
Well, Richard, it is a powerful statement, and I think a lot of people will be shocked at your reports of intimidation and threats of violence. But I think people would also be looking at your party increasing in the national polls, as it is, and perhaps expecting that you would be doing better in Rochdale tonight than it appears that you're actually doing.
Yeah, look, we've no idea what the result is. And actually, Tom, do you know what? The result is in a sense, not relevant. What is relevant is the state of what's going on in certain constituencies up and down the country. And you cannot properly campaign when you've been subjected to the sort of intimidation and threats that our team and candidate and supporters have been subjected to. And that is a very, very serious situation. So I just, in a sense, Tom, I'm going to talk to other media. As I say, my staff have already left the building. This is, in my view, this is a very sobering moment, and it's actually with great sadness that I deliver it.
Well, Richard Tice, thank you very much for bringing that statement live to us here on GB News First. And I have to say, one final question, if Richard is still with us. Are you expecting your candidate, Simon Danczuk, to stand up at that count, to be in part of that lineup? Or, as you say, with your staff, has Simon Danczuk also, will he not be appearing at the count this evening?
We're going to work that out shortly. Simon is just to my side, and we will work that out shortly. So that'll be confirmed, Tom.
Well, thank you very much, Richard Tice. Really appreciate your time and your statement for us here this evening.